Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm still getting ready. It's funny. I just did my live on my other channel last night. I did a live sale, and I had everything set up here this morning. But I stopped and got breakfast on the way, and as I came in, since I had my hands full with breakfast because I ate here in the studio, I only brought up my tablet because I thought, well, I'll use my tablet. I don't know, because that's what I use in my live sale setup. And so I started to get ready about 15 minutes ago for this, and it occurred to me that I need my laptop because of my double setup. So I had to run back down and get my laptop and bring it up. So yeah, that's why I'm still getting ready, because it took me a while to get the laptop up and running. And now I have to log into StreamYard over on the laptop to get that up so that I can give you the double view. But today I'm going to do something fun. I kind of like these little art tidbits of little techniques to share. Yeah. Hold on, I've got to get out of I was in my other account last night, and my computer still has me in that account. You know, there's always something. I think if I would remember everything, I'd be really dangerous. All right, get the login code. Let's go find it. Anyway, so I love to do little snippets of techniques and whatever. So today I'm going to share with you something really fun. It's very simple. You may have seen it before. I can't claim, anything as original because these things have been around, but I do like to share things. That's kind of my forte, is to pass on information and teach, because I'm just, that's just, hey, Sharon. I just enjoy teaching a lot. So that's kind of what the deal is. I'm getting ready to share a fun little background technique. Sharon, thanks for coming. But of course, yeah, I start at 10 to give myself time to, get awake and get rolling. And there's, always something that doesn't happen that way. Right now I've got since I have my 2-camera system, I have to log into my other one. Took me a while to get my computer up, yada, yada. I don't want to sound like a broken record because I was already talking about it. Oh, thanks, Sharon. Yeah, that's my day's adventure today. So I am in the studio today. So after I do this live, then I'm going to package up everything and then send out the invoices. So I usually like to get them out on Thursdays, barring some sort of crazy situation where I can't do it. All right, let's get in over here. All right. Yeah, I'm getting it. Well, hey, Susan Thunderbird, thanks for coming this morning. I'm getting ready to share a fun little art technique for making backgrounds. Very simple little background technique, and you can use it in all kinds of situations. So it's a lot of fun. And all you need for this, if you guys are interested in playing along, all you need is like an old key card, credit card, something that you're not using. You can also use something like this, because you need the flat edge. And then just various paints, acrylic paints. I'm actually also going to be using, I think I'm going to try playing around with Lumieres. I have a whole bag of Lumieres. Yeah, I got my coffee in hand today too. Actually, Sharon, you were there last night. I would feel much better today. But you know what? We had a major temperature drop. So today the high temperature is only going to be in the 40s. So it was like a 20-degree temperature drop. Clouds rolled in there, everything. That's what happens to me. Just my body does not like the temperature changes. All right, let's get in. There I am. Oh, you don't see me yet. I'm on 2 cameras, but hold on. I'm going to mute that one. All right, now that I'm on the other one, let's put me in the stream. Add to the stream. Haha, now I'm on 2 cameras. Let's fix that so it's not. There we go. All right, so then I can move this. and we can get going on figuring out where it's. My shirt's always falling down. All right, so I'm right there. The only thing about using this setup, and I really like this setup, is that I can't zoom in any further because StreamYard wants to try and get this better. Let's see what it looks like if I make it singular. Okay. StreamYard wants to use the front-facing camera. It wants to use the selfie camera. And the selfie camera has its limitations on a couple of different fronts. One, it will not, you can't zoom into it closer. So this is it. I have to bring everything up to the camera for you to see it. And then the other thing is that I'm limited to the resolution of the camera. Now I do have my artwork on the better resolution. My camera has better resolution than this one, but I figure you guys are just looking at me. You're not looking at anything terribly interesting. So this one doesn't need to have a really great resolution. So I've got my little these. Notice these are my hotel cards that I walked off with. This is an old Dress Barn. What are those things called? You know, gift cards. That's what I'm looking at, and it's all used up. So I have those out to use with the paint. Yeah. So how are you guys doing? How you doing? It's channeling D from The Thrill of the Thrift. My husband hates you on all the sales. Probably misses you. I mean, there's the spending the money aspect, but if you're hanging out on all the sales, then you're not there with him, right? My husband doesn't care. Most of the stuff that I do is here. So when I'm at home with him. And so that becomes a problem, though, sometimes because things pop up and I might need to give my attention to something work-related. I really try not to, though, because I know I want him present. Although he's not. You know, it's funny. I go home and I'm present. My husband works all the time, and it's gotten actually worse because of the pandemic, because I believe that his employer thinks that since he's home and has access to the computer, which is his work media, that he can just do it all the time. And he does, and that's my husband. He's always been that way. I mean, it's not something that they're forcing him to do. I think he likes to do it. I think I have a little bit of that workaholic thing in me as well. I talked about that another time. All right, so like I said, you need some of these types of cards. We're basically looking for the edge here. And I pulled this out too, because if you don't have those types of edges, we could probably use that as well. Oh, and then the other thing that I like to use is I save these from, you know, the meat, different things that are packaged in them, because I'm going to use this as my little palette for my colors. Oh, Susan, so he's home all the time. You might need a little break. So, yeah, it's so funny because that's part of the reason why I'm in my own studio now. I published a magazine. Actually, I know where it is. I'm going to go get a copy so I can show you guys my magazine. But I published a magazine for 10 years. Oh, all of a sudden my computer said my mute was muted. My mic. My mute was muted. My mic was muted. Good morning, Rebecca. And I got panic stricken, but my mic is actually hooked to this camera over here. So you can hear me. Anyway, so I published the magazine for 10 years and I never got office space. I did it from my own home. As a matter of fact, there was a period of time for a few years where I even had employees and they would come and I had offices in my basement. And then we hit that horrible gas price increase. I don't even remember what the dates were on that, but it was while I was doing it. I mean, gas price, they went crazy. It went over $5 a gallon. And so my, we went remote. But anyway, so I never came out. But with my husband being home because of the pandemic, I have a little bit of ADD. I've never been diagnosed with it. I do actually believe that I had ADHD as a child. And the only reason why I know that, my parents never treated me any differently. I had absolutely no knowledge of that whatsoever, except that a friend of the family used to call me Hurricane. So that kind of gives you a glimpse into what my younger life was. But in my adult life, I find that I'm hyper focused. And I used to think that, I can't have ADD because I'm hyper focused. I mean, I get things done. And I think that that is actually one of the things of it. But while I'm hyper focused, I'm also very easily distracted. So just the presence of my husband in my house, even though it was okay when he made an office upstairs and he would go to the office. That was when my husband, my daughter, and I were all home. He stayed in the office during work hours. But then when she went back to school, he came down. And so I'd be working at the kitchen table and he would be in the living room, and there's no dividing wall between them, or the family room. And just his presence distracts me. He took you to look at sheds yesterday. Oh, that's exciting. How exciting is that? All right, so anyway, so I've got my palette here. I have some index cards, which are fun to work on. And like I said, I have a whole bunch of different paints. I'm going to play around a little bit with these Lumieres as well. I don't know if you're familiar with Lumieres. If I can get it in the camera in the right place, it's not going to want to focus because it still doesn't want to focus. Why is that? Anyway, these Lumieres are really cool because they're a type of paint and they have very iridescent type looks. Oh, Hurricane City, I know. And it's so funny because, I don't know, I'm not like that anymore. As we get older, we slow down, Anyway. Well, I'm glad your husband's recovering from surgery, or he's able to go back to work. That's pretty cool. I'm glad for that. Very nice. Yeah, but I know why you're saying, thank goodness. Anyway, so I have the Lumiere's paint, which are very fun. So I've got those. Actually, I'm going to pull this into my lap. It's easier. I have a whole bin full of various paints, Liquitech Basics. It's funny, when I do these sorts of techniques, and it could be just because of what I've got in my bin of colors, I tend to gravitate towards the very bright colors. It's kind of funny. But in my other art, I tend to gravitate towards the more muted, actually, and the browns and the greens and, maybe some oranges and whatever. But it is kind of funny how we gravitate towards things. Oh, I was going to put my... Oh, I don't need to do that. So I have my tablet sitting next to me, which I use for my nighttime lives so that I can see the chat. And then I realized, well, I've got my computer in front of me. I can see the chat there, too. It's craziness. Anyway, all right, so I've got my paint. So I'm going to put a little bit of... Let's not do blue. Let's do yellow. I'm going to start with the lighter color and go to the darker color. Whee! Okay. My paints are getting kind of thick. All right, so I didn't bring a paintbrush over to the table. I don't want to go out and get it, but you could spread this out so it's not all over. There we go. And now I got a whole glob of it there. I also have paper towels here. I'm going to wipe it off. All right, so it's clean again. And that's only because then I would get globs of stuff on there that I wouldn't know what to do with. All right, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to dab. Oh, I'm showing you that you don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm doing, so you don't know the order I plan to do this. I'm going to show you two things today. This is one of them. So we'll start with this one. This isn't the one I plan to do first anyway. All right, so I have it just on the edges of my card. And I can just tap it down like this all over my card. And of course, you got to replenish as you go along. Go over that line there. So basically just mark making. Okay, so there's my yellow. It's kind of fun. I like it even just like that. Let me show you what it looks like. Again, my camera and the focus. So we got that. Put a little bit of red on here. Oh, that's much juicier. Red. And then I don't need to wipe it off. All right, so I'm going to come back in here like this. And I'm just going to add some red. I love mark making. It can be very zen-like, just to sit around and make the marks. So, and of course, because my life is insanity, it's not insanity, it's just very busy. I didn't come up with any like major samples for you ahead of time, but I'll talk a little bit about how you can use this in your art and your collage, because it is one of my go-to techniques. I absolutely love it. Sirens last night. Oh, that's sad, Sharon. That's sad. All right, I'm going to do black. I have a friend that lives in the Columbus area of Ohio. Well, normally she lives in the Columbus area of Ohio. 92 years old, and she's a friend of the family, and I've known her all my life. She's like family. And so one of the reasons why I go down to Columbus, Ohio, is I like to visit her. Well, when COVID happened, first of all, I didn't want to go anywhere near her for obvious reasons. Second of all, she has a son that lives in Tennessee, and she went during COVID down to stay with him, which I'm glad that she did. So she hasn't actually come back yet. So I miss having her here. 92. I was trying to see her as often as I could. 92. But I do call her occasionally and chat. So I'm hoping she's planning to come back up because she still has her house here. And I'm hoping to see her when she comes back up. All right. So I got black on my card. Want that one a little darker. Ooh, I picked up some red there. A little mark with some red I wasn't expecting. That was, as my dad would call it, that was a volunteer. It was an accident. So anyway, that's kind of what that looks like, and all on its own, I think it's really cool. You know, I mean, it makes its own really fun technique. Now, if I were to use this, I have used it on just blank paper like this before, but it would probably pick up my, oh, that's amazing, Rebecca. 104. It's a nice long life. Anyway, excuse me, I have done this on blank paper like this before, but probably what I would do with this technique is I would do it in like an art journal or a collage or something, which means that I would have put down some sort of what I bring her up a lot because I love her ways of referring to things. Lori Marie Jenkins, she's an artist here on YouTube. She's amazing. But she refers to when you just put down all your like under collage stuff, just where you're slapping down text papers, and what she calls that underpants. And I love that. So I probably would have put down underpants first, and then I would put this on top of it. And then, of course, this is just a stepping off point for other art. So I might, you know, I might take some ink. I'm going to show you. This isn't ink, but let's see if we can do. I don't have a spray bottle over here, but maybe we can. I can show you what I'm talking about. So I might like drip. Oh. I haven't used these in a long time. Probably, oh, you can hear it getting air in there. There we go. This would work a lot better if I had a spray bottle to spray that, but you can kind of see how it's dripping down there. So I might, you know, do something like that. I might use ink. I might use a spray bottle just to add some interest. And of course, now that I've done it here, I gotta do more. So you do that, throw on some sort of a focal point, whether it's an image or, you know, just a big design element of some sort. And then you have a nice little, you know, artwork. So, or a nice big artwork, as the case may be, but because you could do this all over the page. Imagine you could actually even take this with like a huge, like, you know, the things that you use for wallpaper, the spreaders, you know what I'm talking about. You could dip that into paint and do a really big canvas. Okay, so that's the first one. The first little painting technique that I'm going to show you with these cards. And it's a good thing I brought over my tissue paper because for some reason my nose is running. And while I can switch my cameras out so you can only see that, I really didn't want you to see my nose running or have to worry about that. Lived to 98, 93. Wow, Sharon, you've got some longevity in your family. That bodes well for you. That's good. Have you ever done markings on printed paper? Oh, all the time. Yeah, Susan, that's like my thing. I actually, let me go get my, I'm going to go get my magazine right now and show you because that kind of leads me into that. So hang on just a second. Use my mic in the process. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. So it's funny, you know, for many years, I've thought that I didn't have a style. My friends would would say that I do. Oh, that looks like your style, Cyndi. And I'm like, what style? I don't have a style. But I guess I do. And I started out, right now my style lends towards just a vintage look. And it probably started out from the altered stuff. So my magazine was called Altered Arts Magazine. I'll put it under here so you can see it. This is one of the issues. I'll hold it up. I think maybe you can see it better there. There we go. So I published this in print for 5 years, and then I published it as an online magazine for another 5 years. And, oh, this is actually my artwork on the cover of this one. So I think I was drawn into mixed media art through altered books. So that's kind of my forte, I think. Although, like, then that kind of, it segued into junk journals. I was doing junk journals for a while, a couple of years ago. I still love junk journals, and I still love altered books. I kind of steered away from them for a little while when I moved into the studio because I was planning on selling my artwork. I still am, and I still do a little bit. I'll have some other pop-up sales sometime. But, excuse me, altered books are a lot of work. It's like, imagine an altered book. Every 2-page spread is like its own work of art. So you're literally making a book full of artworks. And if you figure that a typical artwork that you might make would sell, and we're talking low, the low end artwork, so anywhere from $20, $50 or whatever for, a small collage or whatever. And again, that's on the way low end. Can you imagine how much an altered book would have to sell to make it worthwhile to spend all the time on it? So that's kind of why I haven't done them here. But I am working, if you guys watch my studio vlogs, I've been working on a little journal because I kind of needed to get into something that I really enjoyed. And I enjoy that. So that's kind of where I went. But anyway, so like I said, this is my artwork, and I'll show you on the inside. And then this is another issue. I love this piece. This cover piece is by an artist named Lou McCulloch, M-C-U-L-L-O-C-H. I think that's how she pronounces it. If you can, find her on Instagram, Lou, L-O-U, and then McCulloch, M-C-C-U-L-L-O-C-H. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description. She has an Instagram, and she has segued from this kind of mixed media art into painting. And she has a very unique style, and she's an amazing artist. And she is near where I live, although we don't get together or anything, but she's in Ohio. Sharon, are you saying that you got the magazine at Hobby Lobby? Susan, really? That's exciting. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, I didn't know Hobby Lobby carried it, to be very honest with you. How it worked when I published the print magazine, I was carried mainly by mom and pop stores, rubber stamp stores, scrapbook stores, that sort of thing, that contracted with me directly. And then I had a limited, oh Lord, it's been so long ago. How did that work? Was it that I was in AC Moore, and I don't think it was because I was, yeah, oh gosh, wow, it's been so long ago. I had a limited distribution with somebody, I think, and I was in AC Moore stores. I do remember that. And then I was looking into contracting with another publishing distributor that would have put me in like Borders and Noble, Barnes and Noble, and all the big places at that time. And I wound up going to an attorney, looking through the contract and everything, and then I kind of put it on hold. I decided not to do it because, at least at that point, because they kind of wanted my firstborn child as part of the deal. And yeah, I would really have gotten the short end of the stick on that. And I mean, maybe I could have, I don't know. It was, it's one of those things you weigh and you decide what you're doing. So I think that's great. But anyway, so then you guys know the magazine. But yeah, this is me. This is the younger me. Then in the picture cut off down here at the bottom is my oldest daughter, who was probably maybe 8 at that time in that picture. But anyway, so yeah, so that's kind of where I got my start in the whole mixed media thing. And it's funny because I used to do, well, I got started, I've always been an artist, but I kind of got started in the art business world doing scrapbooking. And I made a wide range of scrapbook related and scrapbook themed gift items and whatever, with my own designs on them. And I was going to, not a lot of them, but like a local rubber stamp convention I went and had a booth at. And I met the lady from Stamping by the Sea. She has since passed away. Kathy Kravitsky was her name. And anyway, oh, bummer. I hope it's not on my end. Everything looks great on my end. Anyway, she kind of was the one that introduced me to altered books back when I was doing the other stuff. And that kind of propelled me forward. So anyway, small world, small world. All right. So the next technique that we're going to do, and I used to love, oh, this one's lagging. This guy was lagging. That's my phone. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because didn't have it on, I didn't have it on the Wi-Fi network. So I just changed that. So hopefully, I forgot of that. When I'm leaving in the morning to come here, I like to listen to podcast from my house. And it gives me all kinds of problems until I'm like way far away. So I took it off of Wi-Fi. So hopefully now we won't have any problems. Anyway, I would go to various conventions with the magazine around the country after the magazine started, and I also had an arts and crafts kit by Mail Club. So if you guys are familiar, sorry, going out of screen. If you're familiar with the magazine, then you're probably also familiar with the club that I had at that time. It doesn't exist anymore, so don't go to the website. Anyway, I did a craft kit thing, and so I would take stuff from the craft kits and use them in demonstrations and whatever. So I got kind of adept at doing these things, and this is something that I played around with, I'm sure, when I was there. Alrighty. Anyway, so next technique. So we've got this. We come back to, well, I'm trying to think how I want to do it. I think I'm going to put this, since I don't want to waste my paint, I think I'm going to put my paint on my card like that. Put a little bit of that. Put a little bit of this. And I don't care that I've got crossover paint there because it's gonna kind of mix together anyway. And then some of the black, like that. All right, so, getting on my fingers. All right, so I got it on the card like this. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my handy dandy little card, and I'm just gonna squeegee it down. Look at the fun effect I get. Now I've got a whole bunch of it on my card, so I'm gonna move it over a little bit, like that, and then move it over here. And so now I get a little bit of mixture of that paint. And let's go up here. Ooh, look how pretty that is. So what did that take me? Oh, now I shouldn't be lagging over here like I just was because I'm on the Wi-Fi. That's a bummer. I could go out and come back in and see if that helps. Hold on. Let's see if we can leave the studio. Can I leave? Settings now. Studio. There I am. Okay. All right, let's go back down there. And hopefully that'll help with that lagging. We'll see. All right, so anyway, so yeah, what did I do? I just did 3 quick, and I'm still lagging. That's annoying. I did 3 quick swipes with the card, and I got this fun background. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that was cool. Am I going to any shop hauls? You know I'm going sourcing this weekend. I don't know where or how. I enjoy going to estate sales. Estate sales are probably my favorite. If the weather was nice, I keep waiting for the weather to be nice and warm and beautiful because I want to go out to the flea market. The flea market has been open for a while. Here, I'm going to actually leave this because it's annoying me and I don't need it for right now. Let's end that. Oh, it wants to end the broadcast and I don't want it to do that. I just want to leave. Unmute. Put it in the right. Can you hear me now? Too funny. Still no? Say yes if you can hear me. Okay. I was having a really good conversation with no one there. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so let's recap what I said when nobody was listening. Nobody could hear me. I am planning, I never know what's going to go on this weekend, but I will go out sourcing. I like estate sales. Probably head to some estate sales. No, it's not the technology, Rebecca. It's me. You were trying to read my lips, weren't you? Anyway, what I was saying during, oh gosh, now I'm crying. What I was saying during that time was that I would really love to go to the flea market. And it's open, it's been open, but I'm looking for a nice day to go because it's about an hour and 15 minutes away from my house, at least the one that I really enjoy going to is. And I don't want to go there when the weather is cold and icky and possibly wet and rainy. That's not a fun time for me. So if I'm going to travel that distance, I want it to be a really nice day. So again, how did you lose the sound again? Or are you laughing from before? Tell me you lost the sound again. That would make me very sad. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I'll probably do. I was planning on going on a sourcing trip coming up, and I think that has kind of fallen through, but I still may do something fun. Looking forward to all the different things coming up. I was trying to make a calendar of all the different things, and here we are on my art channel talking about vintage stuff. But here, we'll point to some of my artwork. Look, vintage stuff. I like vintage stuff. Anyway, but thank you guys for coming this morning. I really appreciate that you came and that you hung out with me. And I will have more of my junk journal in tomorrow's studio vlog, so you'll have to check that out. And most everybody that comes and watches this will come after the fact. So if you're joining us now after the fact, please be sure to hit the thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section. That would be awesome. Don't tell me about the missing volume because I know. And I do hope to see you guys tomorrow. So, and those of you that are coming after the fact, and maybe some of you here, but I don't think it's you. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing so that you know when I go live. I may do pop-ups. Actually, I was thinking the other day. Let me know what you guys think. I was thinking the other day of doing a segue from my other channel's live sale on Wednesday night to a live sale over here on my art channel, like trying to funnel people over here afterwards for, a short, limited number item sale, whether it be of my own artwork or whether it be of, art supplies like a garage sale or something. That was something that I was thinking about doing. Oh, good, Rebecca. That makes me feel good. I hope so. And you know what? It's funny. I'm very much motivated by deadlines and by, the have tos in life. So that's kind of why I'm doing these morning things. So Tuesday mornings on my other channel, I do a morning, it's a haul. A lot of times I sold 5 items this past Tuesday. I may have guests over there. And then I may have guests over here too. Actually, I've been talking to some people about seeing if I can get some more guests on. But it gives me something that I have to prepare for. And I have to get in here and do something. So it may seem like it's kind of a little thing to do these types of things. This isn't a whole lot of art, but it is some art. And there are days when I get so busy that I don't get to do the art like I want to. And then if I do have time, I can take these things that I've made with you guys here, demonstrating techniques and whatever, and I can turn that into something. So it's a way for me to, I don't know, I guess be accountable to myself. So, perhaps that's something for you guys too. It's always good when you interact with other people to, help keep you accountable for doing something. Because I'd say, okay, well, I'll do a challenge and I'll, do a journal page a day, or I'll do 3 a week or something. Well, if I don't have any reason to do it, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily going to do it. I can't motivate myself to do it. So, yeah, this helps. And it helps that you guys are here. So thank you so much for coming. And, yep. Like I said, my next thing is my studio vlog that'll come out tomorrow. And then next week, usually on Mondays, I have Saturday and Monday, I should have videos on my other channel. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have lives on both my channels. So anyway, thanks for coming, you guys. I'll see you in the next time. Bye.